Fisher. Thank you, Don. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I know I did. Didn't have to cook. Tried that a couple years ago, cooking turkey myself. Didn't work out too well. I mean, I did everything they said you're supposed to do. I preheated the oven. There was plenty of juice in the pan. But the turkey kept sticking its head out of the door. Thought he was taking a sauna, asked me for a towel. It was so hard getting him in there in the first place. But thanks everybody for being here. It's wonderful to gather and share some laughter, especially after these last couple of weeks, dealing with the terrible news from overseas, the shock, the surprise. I'm talking, of course, about Ronda Rousey getting knocked out in Australia. Boy, oh boy. Anybody see that? I mean, she fell to the floor faster than Bill Cosby's dates after their first drink. It's been a great holiday weekend. Let me catch up on some of the news headlines that you might have missed. Here in Las Vegas, the wife of Mirage headliner, ventriloquist Terry Fader, is suing him for a divorce. Fader's response, talk to the hand. Other local news, the fabulous XS nightclub has announced that every Friday is now pilot skirt night at the club. For those of you who don't know, a pilot skirt is a dress so short you can see the cockpit. Other casino news, Caesar's Palace has announced that they are removing the mirrors from over the beds of their high roller suites. This was after a VIP called up in the middle of the night to complain that he thought he was being attacked by a pajama-clad skydiver. I don't know about you guys, but if I have a mirror over my bed, I hope there's someone next to me, and I really want that mirror to read, objects are larger than they appear. Another great thing about the holidays, we get a break from the nightly clown show. Coverage of the presidential candidates. The other day, a reporter asked Hillary Clinton what she thought about foreign aid. Hillary said, I don't think we need any. Same reporter asked Donald Trump his views on world population, and the Donald said, population problem? That's a loser question. I mean, I had 2 parents, they had 4 parents, I think it's dwindling. Lots of sports to watch on TV right now, yeah, it's great. Everything except baseball, which I kind of miss. Back when he was president, Bill and Hillary Clinton traveled out to inaugurate one of those new baseball stadiums. And little known story, right before the game started, Bill scooped up Hillary in his arms and tossed her out of the presidential box. Well, immediately the Secret Service came, whispered in Bill's ear, and he said, oh, now I understand. You invited me here because you want me to throw out the first pitch. Sorry, baby. Love you. I think it would be great if we had celebrity baseball commentators. It would make it more interesting. I think Clinton would be pretty good. That's right. It's Bill again. And remember, I'm the president that came between 2 bushes. And we're here at Dodger Stadium. There's lots of good-looking women here, at least judging from the tops of their heads, which is a view I'm used to. I see some cute, chubby brunette down there in a stained blue dress, but there's some ugly guy in a leisure suit next to her. Oh, wait a minute. That's Hillary. My bad. Love you, baby. Let's go over to our color commentator, Hollywood actor Nicolas Cage. Hey, Nick, lots of pretty women here at the ballpark. Good afternoon. Who? Women? Where? Why? Okay, let's go down to our sideline reporter, Pee Wee Herman. Pee Wee, turn around.
Well, what? All the ball players are doing it. Hey, it looks like the foul lines are gone. What happened to the foul lines? Doc Brown from Back to the Future movies. What happened to the foul lines?
Great Scott, Pee Wee. It's terrible. Some maniac has sniffed up the foul lines. Authorities suspect that the leading suspect is some guy named Reverend Jim Ignatowski from the TV show Taxi. Okey doke.
And now, a word from one of our sponsors. Hey ho, Kermit the Frog here. And you know, everybody asks me, Kermit, how come frogs' sex lives are so short? Well, it's because us frogs hop on, hop off, and croak. But if you're like me and you have a Miss Piggy to take home and pork, be sure to use the new designer condoms, Calvin Climax. Calvin Climax come in 3 sizes. There's large, medium, and Barack Obama size, extra, extra small.
My little niece has a stuffed Kermit the Frog doll. Nowadays, toys have to be so politically correct. I mean, for Christmas, Mattel is introducing a sexually ambiguous G.I. Joe doll. It's called G.I. Don't Know. But as I said, I love watching sports. I'll even watch ice hockey. But you know, I think hockey would be a lot more fun if they painted the puck white. Make those skaters try to find it. Jean-Pierre, have you seen the puck? No, I don't know. Where did it go? I don't know. This past summer, I even watched the Little League Baseball World Series because there was a team participating from Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. Hi there. It's a beautiful day on the baseball diamond. And Jimmy, we need you to hit a home run because if you don't worry about your mom, don't worry about your dad. Just worry about that puppy of yours I got locked in the trunk of my car. Can you say blackmail? Sure you can. I know you could. Favorite sports are college sports, right? But let's face it, these are athletes, not scholars. That's true. In fact, right here in town, the letters to an athlete, UNLV, really stands for You Never Learn Vocabulary. Other schools, it's the same thing. UCLA, you can't learn anything. BYU, beyond your understanding, Mormon or less. And the Ohio State football team, they keep them all eligible by requiring them to double major in agriculture and biology. That way they know their ass from a hole in the ground. Now, I am originally from Atlantic City, and I moved here because they said, we're free to go. Pretty place, yeah. In fact, if Dorothy landed in Atlantic City instead of Oz, looked underneath that famous boardwalk, she would be, winos and hookers and pimps, oh my, winos and hookers and pimps. Glinda the Good Witch would be, Dorothy dear, are you a good witch, or are you a bad witch? Or are you just a bitch? Remember what killed the Wicked Witch at the end of The Wizard of Oz? Melting, I'm melting. Anybody?
Yeah.
Water. That's right. You know what that means? That means she never bathed. Those flying monkeys had to grow wings just to flap the stench back at us. My father always ruined childhood stories like that for me. In fact, my first memory as a kid was asking him who Peter Pan was. And he said, Peter Pan? Peter Pan's a pervert. He likes to hang around the windows of young kids late at night dressed in green shorts and green tights. Worse than that, he's a pusher. Calls the stuff magic dust. Peter Pan goes up to little kids and say, hey, you want to buy a little magic dust? It'll make you fly. And his accomplice Tinkerbell was outed as a fairy. Atlantic City, where I'm from, is the home of the Miss America contest. And I actually watched the pageant this year. The broadcast had a very interesting commercial. Hi, my name is Paris Hilton. Oh, yeah, Paris Hilton for new and improved wet naps. Hey, when you don't have time for a complete wet dream, how about a wet nap? I'm pleased to say I'm very happily married. And, yeah, she's a former college gymnast. Sounds pretty good, guys. Yeah. Pretty cool, huh? And it really was cool in the beginning. Now she sounds more like a gymnastics judge. I mean, every time after lovemaking, she's like, I'm sorry, dear. I had to deduct 0.2 of a point for that sloppy dismount. She is definitely a moaner and a screamer, though. Only when I'm trying to convince her to have sex. Then I have to be like Elmer Fudd in the Bugs Bunny movie. Shh, be very, very quiet. I'm on a booty call. If I'm on a booty call, though, I don't need Viagra. But, you know, if I ever did take it, and I had an erection lasting more than 4 hours like the commercials, I would not be calling my doctor. I wouldn't be calling an escort service. I would be calling my friends to boast and brag. I mean, even if I fell and broke it, you know, if it was in a cast, that wouldn't be all bad. I could take it to work, ask the girls at the office to sign my cast. Unfortunately, they'd say they'd only be able to initial it. No John Hancock. But I have to confess, last week my wife went out of town on a business trip, and I got a little lonely. So I called up, I looked up one of those internet sites that said that we'll send a girl who will do everything your wife won't do. So I called him up, and she came over wearing a short black dress. She had feathers, rubber gloves. She came up and said, I'm going to do what your wife never does. Sounds pretty good. So I told her, you scrub that floor. Put those rubber gloves on. She never cleans like this. Use the feathers to dust. Come on now. It was really great. Next month I'm going to do a 3-way cleaning. One of the great things about living in Las Vegas is you do get to see celebrities from time to time. I went to see Paul McCartney in concert. That's right, Tom. I had to do a tour of Las Vegas and other towns, you know, because it was my wife, my ex-wife, Heather Hopalong Mills, when she sued me for divorce. She didn't leave me like to stand on. Wasn't very nice, you know? True story. I actually saw, before she died, I saw Joan Rivers. Oh, yes, Tom. I've had so many facelifts. My forehead is so tight, Ringo Starr could play the drums on it. Can we talk? And my daughter, Melissa, she's just ugly. I might have had a lot of facelifts, but she is ugly. Oh, yes. Grow up. I took Melissa out to dinner. The restaurant didn't know whether to put down silverware strap in a feed bag. It is just... Oh. Worse than that, I have a friend named Heidi who is celebrity starstruck. Yes, Heidi went out and she got a tattoo of Johnny Depp on the inside of one thigh, Leonardo DiCaprio on the inside of the other thigh. She comes over to my apartment. She says, Joan, can you tell who these are? And I looked, I said, I don't know who the two on the outside are, but the one in the middle is Zach Galifianakis. For older people in the audience, the one in the middle is Willie Nelson. But celebrities in casinos have been going to the gaming tables for years and years. That's pretty cool. But I think we should turn that around. I mean, wouldn't it be great if we walked up to a blackjack table and your dealer was Christopher Walken? Hello to you. Never split threes. Crazy. Don't do it. Well, I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell. I mean, more cards. So you, Kermit, you going to hit or you going to stay? Well, Mr. Walken, I confess I'm a little bit nervous here at the table because it's made of green felt. It could have been one of my relatives. Okay, Doc Brown, what are you going to do? Well, you know, Chris, I've made worse bets than this. In Back to the Future Part 2, I bet on the Chicago Cubs to win the 2015 World Series. Okie doke. Okay. Nicolas Cage, you gotta put your bet down. Who? Where? Why? All right, and former President Clinton, what are you gonna do? I'll be right with you, Chris. You know, Joan, I've seen your daughter, Melissa, and I think she's pretty hot. I'd do her. Oh, God, you're married to Hillary. You'd do anybody. In fact, you're so horny, even the crack of dawn ain't safe. It is just a grow up. Okay, all of you are crazy. So here's your cards. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. It's Paul McCartney again. On behalf of Tom Fisher and all his voices, I'd like to say thank you so much. Also like to thank Don Barnhart and the other comics performing for you tonight. We'll see you next time. Tom.